I'm Brian Hendricks, and we've got our bobcat out of the pickle here. Everything's pickled now. It's been in there for a few days. There's the belly area that was pretty green. Everything's nice and white now. The ears, everything's, like I say, everything's pickled through nice now. So we're going to get started on the turning. I'm going to start out on the ear. And first thing I'm going to do is kind of loosen it up a little bit. Things stiffen up when they're in the pickle. So I'm going to turn that out so you can see it here. And I'm just kind of working it back and forth, just kind of softening it up a little bit. And that's going to make it a lot easier to skin and turn. Like I say, everything's like that. The lips, everything's just a little stiff. So just wiggle them around, move them around a little bit, and that'll soften them up. Okay, this is the bobcat's left ear. So that's what we're going to start on. And turn it back out here. And I got a post here that I'm going to start turning this thing on. I just put it on there through the opening of its mouth. Now I'm pushing all the ear, the whole ear is all on this side of my post right now. And as I pull down on that, you can see the connective tissue starting to form right there. Got a couple scalpels here. This is a number 10, and this one here is a number 22 blade. So if you're interested in the sizes of those. So I'm just going to start cutting at this connective tissue here until I get it started a little bit. And as you get going, you're going to notice it's going to get easier as you go here. That line going down there is where that cartilage and that muscle comes together that comes out on the forehead. So it'll all come apart here in a little bit. Okay, I got it started now. It's already wanting to cooperate a little bit. Now I also have a regulator needle here, and I use the end of that to help me separate these things. And what I'm doing is just kind of pushing on that cartilage and separating the back skin of the ear from the cartilage, the inside of the ear, I should say. And I'm just kind of forcing it down onto that post as I go a little bit. It's a little bit awkward for me to try to do things so that you can see what's going on instead of just the natural where I want to put it for myself. I might have to go into my other post here because I'm not getting the angle that I want here. Spin it around this way and see if you can see what's going on. There we go. Now I've got the whole ear on this side of the post. There we go. I think you can see better like that. Now you can see what's happening. It's not so awkward. Just take your time. They can be pretty fragile sometimes, but they are a lot tougher after being pickled than they are when they're raw. And also, like I say, you can take your time because it is pickled, so you don't have to worry about spoilage at this point. If there's any spoilage, it happened a long time ago, way before we pickled it. So at this point, like I say, you've got all the time you need to work on this thing now. Take your time and not have to worry about it spoiling while you're working on it, or the heat from your hands can cause a lot of problems on raw skins. Okay, I'm going to go over onto my other post here. It's a little bit smaller. I just found that I've got, I don't know, 3 different sizes going on here, and I've just found it's a little bit easier to start out on the bigger post and just kind of work my way down. But you'll find, in just with some experience, what works for you. So just keep separating that. Working it down. I'm going to go over this other post here now. This one's quite a bit smaller. You can see it's okay. The ear fits right down on it a lot better. See, I'm almost at the edge right now. Again, I'm putting the rest of the ear that hasn't been turned. That's what that lump is right there. And this is just nice and smooth on this side of the post. And I'm just just gently pushing that skin off of there. You're probably on the wrong side to really see what's going on here, because I'm not going to be on this post much longer anyway, so I'm going to have to go to that small dowel rod. Just gently pushing that. If you go too hard or a little bit too far, you're going to just push an ear or a hole in the tip of the ear there. So we're not that far from the end of it right now. And you'll also notice as you get close to the edge of the ear, you're going to see a whole bunch of little dots right along the edge. And the edge of that ear will start to get wrinkly too. Just to give you a couple tips on when you're getting close. Let me pull that up and see what. I think that's. Looks like it's fairly separated right there. I'll know more when I start peeling that with the scalpel. I'm going to spin this around. I think you'll be able to see it better now as I work from this side. See the little wrinkles along the edge of the ear there? Okay, this here is the flap area. This whole thing going on here. And that's that little flap on the outside of the ear. I don't turn that all the way out. I just kind of start a little bit. It's pickled all the way through, and it will also tan all the way through. So I don't separate that. And what that does, it allows me, first of all, I don't have to spend the time that it takes to all that tedious work of separating all that little flap area. And when I mount this thing, let me see here, make sure I get the right ear here. Okay, here's an ear liner. I guess I did have the right one because that's the cartilage. Okay, this here is the outside of the ear. Right here's where that little flap would stick out, right there. Okay, so I've left that a hollow on that ear liner right there, because that's where that is going to fall right into place there. So we've eliminated that on the ear liner because we're not going to separate it on the ear. So it's a little more obvious on some of the other species, like on a coyote or something. Now I'm just giving that a little bit of a pull right there, and you can see it's where it turns white there. See, I pushed a little bit too hard right there, and I put a little bit of a hole in it right there. That's how tedious that can be, trying to open those flaps right there. Okay, there's still a little bit of a ball of ear underneath there, so I know I'm not all the way to the end of that ear yet.